Hey everybody, welcome to September's Move Up Mindset Career Community video drop. Hope you guys have been great the last few weeks of summer, or well, I guess technically we're still in summer, but September always feels like the fall in the US no matter where you are. So yeah, hope you've had a really good time. I wanted to do some videos this month on topics that people had been asking me about. They've been sending me messages or sending me emails, or I'm asked about these things in sessions and workshops. So I wanted to share, something here. And ChatGPT still remains pretty high on most people's minds, just the curiosity of how it works. If you're a job seeker or a professional looking to either land a new position or, discover ways that you can advance your career path, it's a great tool to use. If you have gotten the email, you see a bit of more explanation on uses that you can take if you find yourself looking for new opportunities or just that next step from a career development standpoint. But I did want to do a video to kind of expand one of the things we talk about in the email. And this is specific to the prompts. I think I had mentioned in the email that, you can use ChatGPT for a lot of different things. And one of the things that I think is great to use it for is cover letter drafting, or even, writing a resume based off of a certain job description. There are ways that you can ask it to do that. Certainly you're not going to have it necessarily done exactly the way you want it in the first time that you're asking it in a prompt. But you can do some pretty powerful things with the tool. So, specific to the email, I talk about cover letter drafting. This is probably the most tangible example I'm going to share as far as what you can do with the tool. You can actually ask it, ChatGPT or any other generative AI tool, to craft a cover letter for a specific job description that really interests you, that you've seen online, based off of the information that you're providing in your resume. And, you can tell it to write a customized cover letter that's appropriate for the job based off of your resume. And so how you can do that is that it combines a few different things. It's how you're asking it in your prompt, but also what information you're also including in that prompt. So what I will, switch over to is basically telling you how you can do this through a prompt, like how you can actually write it out and see what kind of information you'll get from its generation. So we're going to try that here in this video. So let me just put you on pause real quick and come back. Okay, so we are back, and I'm hoping that, okay, so I'm going to try, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I am going to show you the example of the prompt, and hopefully this is working. Yeah, I think it's working. Okay, so I'm going to go to the prompt here. So, in the email, you probably saw number 2 under, examples of prompts that you can write for ChatGPT. And you saw this one, can help you draft a cover letter. So you would write in, the generative AI tool of your choice. Certainly ChatGPT is great, but there's other ones out there. You can ask it to do the following. You could type in, I'm applying for a position as a senior software engineer at, whatever, ABC Corp. Can you help me draft a cover letter that explains why I'm a good fit for the role? Definitely, you could enter in this prompt as is, no problem. What you'll probably get is a sample cover letter, kind of highlighting some of these parameters that you've talked about in your prompt, right? The type of position, the company, etc. But did you know you can actually go a step further and reword this prompt so that it can include in the output details of your resume so that it's addressed in the cover letter that you're wanting to write to ABC Corp. So what I want to show is how you can do this. You can actually word this as a prompt, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that in a second. So hold on, and I'm just going to try to get back to what we're doing here. All right. So let me get back to you on this and jump into the application. Hold on. Okay, so we're going to go back into showing you ChatGPT. So I apologize, I'm kind of doing this in a kludgy way here. Okay, so we are in the OpenAI ChatGPT version. And I'm just going to walk through the steps here. So as you can see here below, right down here, hopefully you can see this with the cursor, I typed in the prompt that was suggested. I am applying for a position as a senior software engineer at ABC Corp. Can you help me draft a cover letter that explains why I'm a good fit for the role? So, let's just take a look to see what it generates. So I'll let it do its thing, and we'll kind of go over what this looks like. Okay, so it's pretty interesting. As you might see it already. Oh, you know what? I don't know that I can go up. Sorry. Oh, okay, I can. Perfect. Okay, so by just entering that prompt alone, it talks back to you and says, of course, let me draft a cover letter for you for the senior software engineer role at this company. And then it does say, please keep in mind, this is just a template. You should customize it to match your specific qualifications and experiences. So, it busts out a template that's pretty old school with your name at the top. And I say it's old school because, if you're of a certain generation, you were taught to address your paper letters this way with your name and contact information, which included your address. I would say it's conventional wisdom now to not really do that, but that's a separate conversation. But you get the sense of what is created here. You get to see a template. So they're talking about this interest that you have in the senior software engineer position, and they use that ABC Corp as the name. And then it goes on and provides general language, which, is pretty found and well found in cover letters that seems to match what you see. So like with a proven track record of developing innovative software, etc., I'm confident that my skills and experience align perfectly with this role. So it continues to offer additional things that you can swap out in language, and then ultimately you sign your name. So this is actually a really good starting point, right? But you can go a bit further. So I am going to show you how you can take a certain job description that you're interested in and then have a cover letter drafted so that it includes information that you're capturing in your resume as well. Okay, so let me take a brief pause here to get that set up. And all right, hold on. All right. Okay, so we're back here. So I wanted to show you the alternative of how you can incorporate your resume information as well as details for the specific company job description you're interested in within a crafted cover letter by ChatGPT. So this is what you would do. This is a version. I mean, this is certainly not the only way you can do it, but we're kind of experimenting here, right? So if you take a look below, you will see in the prompt box, I wrote something to this effect. Write a cover letter for this job description below based off of my resume info I shared below too. So couple of things. I copied and pasted, a senior software engineer position that I found on LinkedIn. Okay. But I also, and you see it here, I kind of, copied it in. Here's the job description. Not all of it, but, like what the person will do, what they need for qualifications. And then I also pasted in information from my resume, which this is a templated background of a resume that I am using for one of my candidates. Notice you should not be putting in your personal information. So make sure that you take all of that out because that will probably get reported somewhere and be trained in the language model about your background. And gosh, I would hate to know what that turns out to be. But, to be safe, remove any personal information like phone numbers, emails, names, etc. But anyway, I just kind of copied and pasted what I had from a resume um, for somebody just for purposes of this example. So, it's okay if you put in, I think, company information because that's very general. For this example, I just kind of changed names and other kinds of important detail. But hopefully you get the gist. So I actually physically copied it in as such. Okay. So let me just show you what it will do. Okay, so it did generate something. So let me go back up and show you what we have. And I'm gonna just pause for a second as I get situated. All right, so I wanted to show you what the output was. So it's actually interesting to see what it is because you see an example here of a cover letter. Kind of looks the same as the other cover letter, but if you scroll down a little, you see a few things, right? So it does talk about, you know, being excited to express their strong interest in, and instead of calling it a senior software engineer role, they call it by what was listed in the job description. So senior developer advocate. So that's kind of cool. It does not incorporate the name of the company here though. So it's interesting, but this is a template and, we are kind of experimenting to see what's there. So it says, with my extensive background in software engineering, program management, and a passion for fostering developer communities, I'm confident that I'm an ideal fit for this role. So interesting here is the resume that I included, the person is a technical person, but certainly not a developer. This individual is more of a program manager for sure and has worked a lot with developers. So it's interesting that they incorporated that as part of this person's expertise and what they bring to the table. And the person does have that title in that second Paragraph, in my current role as head of program management, absolutely. So that's integrated. I have successfully overseen, yada, yada, yada. These are things that are lifted, I'm sure, or summarized from the resume output. So this is pretty interesting. It goes on to talk about the person's resume and other things that they're, highlighting in the background and so forth. So I think it's really interesting to see this. It's not a full lift of putting in your name and inserting all the data points, like the name of the company that you're applying to, but it does meet it on other kinds of levels. So what I would recommend is just playing with the tool, playing with ChatGPT to see how you can go about crafting and getting iterations of the type of documents that you're wanting help with. I think I've stressed this, that it's not wise to just kind of take what's generated and not revise it or put your own creative spin on things, just because a lot of systems, they're developing ways to identify that it was AI generated. I mean, I don't think they're fully up and running with these detection tools, but they are getting close. But also, this is just really a tool to help you get a baseline of information, as if you're doing a Google search, but a bit more than that. It's more interactive. And it really should be used as a creative starting point. So, that's the video. Would love to hear what you guys think and what you've been using it for and some of the results. I'd love to hear more about it. So feel free to drop me a line, and would love to talk to you all about it sometime soon. All right, until next month, guys, take care.